Hi everybody, and welcome to our channel, The Audio Couple. Today we are very excited because we've got Joel Kopping, a legend really in the South African audio industry. So welcome, Joel.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I love what you're doing with the channel. I've been watching some of what you've been doing recently, and thank you for what you're doing, giving back to the industry.
Oh, thanks, Joel. Yeah, that's just a pleasure, and coming from you, it's close to the heart. But anyway, Joel, I think there's the event that is coming up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But first of all, tell us a bit about Joel for the people that doesn't know you, a little bit of your background, etc.
Very briefly, been in audio for most of my life. The interesting part, as far as this is concerned, is I spent nearly 15 years at Audio Video Magazine, where my day job was reviewing hi-fi and home theatre equipment. Dream job. I got to play with all the best equipment that there was, and I got to meet some amazing people. A lot of people from overseas, and more importantly for me, a lot of local people that built fantastic audio products. A lot of the products understated and not as well known as they perhaps should be, but some good friendships were formed. I've met some fantastic people. Skulk from Valve Audio, Roy from Sonor Audio, a big bunch of other people that have helped form my love of audio and my love of locally manufactured audio. So, yeah, a long time in the game. I often tell people I started in the game when I had hair up to here, but but yeah, it was. I love music and I love listening to music, and
yeah,
these are the products that help us get to enjoy that music.
Indeed. No, thanks for that introduction, Joel. Then, were there maybe in your years of review something that stood out for you, maybe a special event or something like that, a special product, something like that?
There have been quite a few special products. One of the first products was one of my first Sonor speakers, my introduction to Sonor. I had actually been saving to turbocharge my car, because that's the other passion. I think boys all need their toys and passions. And we got a pair of speakers in to review, and it was one of the Sonors. It was actually a pair of Capellas. And I got to listen to them and to review them, and I phoned Roy, and this is one of my first interactions with Roy. And when you get to know him, he's got a very good sense of humor. And the conversation went something like this, hello Roy, this is Joel from Audio Video. And you're a bastard. Because, and he said, no, thank you very much. I mean, I get called worse than that. That's okay. So that's a nice thing to be called, because he kind of figured out I was joking. And he said, but why this time? And I said, because I'd been saving to turbocharge my car, but I now need to buy a pair of speakers. And so that was the start of my journey with
these products. With
Sonor Audio, yeah. And, getting to know the person behind the brand.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I've gotten to know, pretty much everybody in the industry today. All the distributors, I'm friendly with all of them. Down to people like the late Gunther Steinhardt, also a big character. Some stories I could tell you about Gunther. Not safe for consumption here, but some stories about Gunther Steinhardt. And some of the characters, and some of the characters who are still distributing products today, that have done a fantastic job in keeping the industry growing. We've got Barry Robinson, who's Sky Audio, the guys from HFX, Eugene and the guys, they've done a fantastic job. They've done really well. And then, pretty much everybody else. Look at people like the late John Topham, who did some fantastic things with Jade Audio, and lots of people that created the industry that we're in, and made it a special place for all of us.
No, for sure, and they've added to our enjoyment and enjoying the equipment, which is the most important part, and the music, of course. The music is maybe the final part. Yeah, I remember when I was a student, my first serious loudspeakers were also from Roy, and when I first earned my first salary check, or a few, I had to actually earn a few before I could afford it, but anyway, it was also a pair of these loudspeakers. I think it was called the VK2s, a very decent loudspeaker as well. But anyway, Joel, so today, but thank you for introduction and tell us about your background and then some of the events. I'm sure, you know, there are many of those, but we don't have time for them today. But there's an event coming up. Can you tell us a bit more about that? The stereo
music show, yes. So the stereo music show has got two main purposes. The first one is to get people back to listening to music. So we specifically chose not to call it a hi-fi show or anything like that, because it's actually about music and getting people listening to music. So that's the first part. And the second part is we chose to only highlight South African manufacturers. And the reason there was because there are some fantastic manufacturers, and we've got some products here. And because in these tough times that we're in these COVID times that we're in, we've become more insular, spending more time at home, spending more time with our hi-fi systems, if this is what, our audio systems, this is what we enjoy. And we're going to say, my partner Andre and I thought, if we're doing everything and we're staying here, we're staying local, why don't we support local more, employ more people locally, keep the funds in South Africa? And we're doing that not because we're being totally altruistic and we don't like exports and exported products. It's because there are some fantastic local products that compete with the best in the world. And why not support local if you can? And part of the show is just to highlight the fact that we have got these local products here. They do offer, firstly, superior performance or fantastic performance, because we don't want to promote anything that doesn't perform well. That's the first part. And the second part is they offer fantastic value for money. An example of this could be, a little while ago, the bigger Sonors, the Claro 6.2s, were reviewed in Germany. In Germany, they sell for roughly 5,000 euros. And at that price, they compete against products manufactured in Europe that sell for 5,000 euros. In the review, they were praised for having exceptional value for money in the European market. If we were to bring a pair of Sonor speakers, we were to import them into South Africa, they would probably land here at about 130,000, 140,000 rand. We pay just over 50,000 rand for that speaker.
So less than half.
So, and we're saying, if you can get 100,000 rand speaker, which is what it really is, for 52,000 rand, roughly what it is here, why don't you want to do it? People are happy to pay 130,000, 140,000 rand for a speaker that it competes with in Europe, but because there is somewhat of a stigma to local products, they will go, I'd rather buy the imported product. But as you said, quite a while ago you bought a pair of Sonor audio speakers. Sonor have been going for some 30 years.
Unbelievable. Time goes quick.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, so they've been around for longer than a lot of the, should we say, name brand international products. They're still going.
And it's got quite a big setup, his factory. I visited it a few years back, and it's quite a decent setup, I must say.
Yes, you know, so it's professional setup. All the machining, the wood cutting is done on a CNC machine, so it's all done with, you know, with precision. He's got the latest measurement equipment. I think it's Loud Soft, I think it's called. He's got fantastic equipment to to wind coils, and we can see in the crossover there, all the coils in the crossover are wound in-house to the spec that Sonor want. The capacitors are made for Sonor to their specification. And so they do a lot of things in-house.
And it's mounted in a sub-enclosure, this
yes.
is a crossover. Okay.
Yeah. And then down to even, if you look at this molding, that's molded in-house.
Yes, and I must say, it's quite neat.
You know, so even that is done in-house because it's done to the level of finish and specification that Sonor wants. And I always tell lots of stories. A few years ago, I was at the Paradigm factory in Canada. And at that stage, Paradigm was doing everything in-house. And I asked, why do everything in-house? And they said, well, it's very simple. If anything goes wrong, we know where to look. There's nobody else to blame. And it's the same kind of story here. If something goes wrong, you don't blame any outside manufacturers. You go, we didn't make the crossover properly, or we didn't do the molding properly. We have to do it. We have to do it properly. And the same kind of thing goes with all of these products. You know, the guy from Reference Acoustics. Much of their manufacturing machining they do themselves. Same kind of reasoning. Magellan, the chassis is made by somebody else. The secret in that, and I was actually talking to Ryan, the manufacturer, earlier today, it's not in the output module, it's a ICE module. It's in the years and years and years that he spent getting the power supply right. So anybody can go out and buy an ICE module. It's easy to go online, you can get it. The secret is implementing things, getting the power supply to work, getting a quiet power supply, getting one that can be as noise-free as humanly possible, and that lets the music flow.
No, for sure, for sure. And you know, interesting fact is when I assisted to get the unit here, I carried it for a short distance, and it's quite hefty. So originally I thought it's a Class AB because of the weight, but you know, Joel informed me it's actually you know, Class D design, which was quite a surprise.
One of the reasons for that is the amplifier was designed to drive apogee scintillas. If anybody knows the scintillas, it's pretty much a 1 ohm load.
Yeah, sure.
And over the past couple of decades, there have been a handful of amplifiers that can actually drive the scintillas. And that's one of them. And part of the mess is the huge heatsink in there, because it's designed to drive 1 ohm loads, which nowadays are silly.
For sure. Okay, so it's quite a capable power amplifier,
yes,
but musical as well.
Yes.
For sure. Joel, no, thank you. Look, then maybe talking more about the show, which do you think will be the main attractions of the show? Do you maybe have something?
Yes. Well, we've got a few firsts. We've got, I'm sure I can talk about it now, Lance Dixon, who has brought us the Revolve turntable, which is a beautiful turntable. He is going to be launching a turntable called the Circle. So it will be the world premiere of the Circle. Quite a bit more affordable than the Revolve, but using a lot of the technology that he developed for the Revolve has gone into the Circle. There will be, I'm not sure too many people have seen or heard of PL Audio. Peter Lotter, he makes some absolutely fantastic solid state amplifiers and preamplifiers. So Peter's going to be there. And then the biggest, and I say this physically biggest star of the show, will be the Sonor Audio Claro 10.2s, which are the new flagship speakers from Sonor, weighing in at just under 100 kilograms each, just over 1.8 meters tall,
That's quite a large loudspeaker.
So
substantial. But this is also the one that's going to attract me for sure. I can't wait to actually see this loudspeaker, and because of the let's call it symmetrical design, it's really will attract me. And yes, I think that's also quite. Let's call it a reference class loudspeaker. But you were privy to actually have a quick listen. What was your initial impression?
The story behind that, and again, I tell lots of stories, is I got a phone call a few months ago saying, would I like to come to the factory, to the listening room at Sonor Audio, and have a listen to the 10.2s. And I knew that they'd already been developing them. I'd seen some of the development that had gone on to them, and we got there, and my partner and I, Andrea and I, were the first people outside of Sonor Audio to listen to the 10.2s. The model didn't even have its base on yet. It was just there, for us to have a quick listen to see, if they were as good as Roy believed they were. Sometimes you fall in love with your products and you think they are better than they are. That's just a fact of life often. You went in there and hooked everything up and had a listen, and were absolutely blown away. That there were these huge speakers that didn't sound like big speakers. If the music was small and intimate, everything was small and intimate. If it was big and bold, it sounded big and bold. And you had to close your eyes to listen to them, because you couldn't imagine that these huge, almost big coffin-like things could be as subtle as they were, because sometimes big speakers sound big. It's difficult to get big speakers to sound subtle and have pace, and then when the bass hits you, it pushes you back in the chair. And that was the
experience.
And subsequently, pretty much everybody that's listened to them has been blown away by what they can do.
For sure. No. Look. I must say, I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, I'll see you at the show. Definitely. Look, there's the world premiere of the Turntable, which I'm also looking forward to. And then, yes, the big, Sonor Audios, the 10.2s. Yes, it's definitely something to look forward to. And I mean, you can just actually talk to the local manufacturers. They will be there in person. So it's always good to engage with them.
So they'll pretty much all be there. Roy will be there. Peter will be there. Designers will be there. Speak to them, find out why they did what they did. That's been one of my joys of South African audio, is being able to speak to the manufacturer and sometimes joke with them, and speak to a Skulk, speak to a Hein, speak to Roy, speak to Peter, speak to all these guys and find out why they did what they did. And the one common thread that comes out through all of these guys is passion.
Definitely for music, and then for the equipment. No, definitely. Look, and then how do we register? How do we engage, or how do we get to the show?
So the show it's happening from the 18th to 20th of June. So it's from today this will be recorded, roughly 2 weeks away. We're starting at 12 o'clock on the 18th on the Friday, and we are having 3-hour sessions. So you have to book for a session. And the reason there is because of COVID. We have to limit the number of people we've got coming through so that we can keep social distancing and we can keep our community safe. And that's
safety first.
Vitally important. So we're limiting it to 50 visitors per session. So the sessions are Friday, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, then 6 to 9. That's on the Friday. Saturday the 19th, we've got 4 sessions. We're starting at 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 12 to 3, 3 to 6, and then 6 to 9. Saturday is selling out fast.
Mm-hmm.
So just a warning then. And then Sunday we have 3 sessions starting at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock to 12, 12 o'clock to 3, and then 3 o'clock to 6. The cost for the event is 100 Rand,
Mm-hmm.
and we would appreciate if as many people as possible booked ahead so we know how many people we've got there, again, because of COVID regulations.
To schedule them, basically.
Yes.
Mm.
But for your 100 Rand, you obviously get to see the show, but we're also going to give you, in return, when you get there, a 100 Rand food voucher from Rockamama's in the casino. So essentially, we're saying to you, the show is for free.
Oh, yes. That's quite a nice
The event, it's not about making lots of money. It's about promoting the industry, promoting music, and getting back to what it should all be about.
Sure.
To book, easiest way is just to contact us at bookings@simplyelectronics.co.za, and we'll get back to you, tell you what sessions are available, and give you all the banking details and all the info that you need to do.
Okay, sure.
So,
And so we'll share with you guys some contact information, don't worry. But then the other thing is at Emperor's Palace.
it is at Carnival City.
Carnival City.
Yeah, Carnival City Casino in the Rio rooms.
Mm.
So it is in the conference center.
Okay, Carnival City. Okay, I've got it. Okay. No.
It is just off the N12, so it is easy to get there. If you're driving down the N12, I think it's the N12, you can't miss it. Double check that, it should be.
No, it's true. It is.
You can't miss it. It's the big circus tent looking place.
For sure, for sure. No, thanks. I'm sure we'll get it, and we'll also share some directions. But then the last thing is, Joel. So after the show, how will the South African or the audio community out there at large, how will they acquire these local products? You know, is there maybe let's call it a portal where we can showcase these products and also?
Yes. So what we've done is, my partner and I, so we've curated Simply Electronics as an online portal where every product available at the show will be available from us, from Simply Electronics, via our portal, via the website. But more than that, we would rather, because this is high-end gear, book a demo with you. If you want to hear a Valve Audio Predator, we'd rather book a demo, come to your house, plug it into your system. There's nothing better than
Hearing at your own.
a home demo in your home with your music. You know, play it at the levels you like. For me, there's nothing worse than going somewhere for a demo and they play it so soft that you can't hear what's going on. I always say to people, it's like going to test drive a Ferrari and the person says, well, you can only drive it at 30 kilometers an hour. I'm never going to drive it at 30 if I buy it. No?
No, I totally agree. No, because at home as well. I also, I got a lot of people to say that, but Nimrod, you play it slightly louder than we would, But that's because I want to experience the music. It's not just look. Some evenings, I must say, myself and Teresa, we only play it, not as loud. Let's call it like that. But sometimes you really want to experience the music and get it. I wouldn't say concert levels, but near to concert levels. And every now and then you will like to push it. It's like a Ferrari. It's not meant to drive at 100 k's or 120 k's. Every now and then you should push it to about 200. I don't know what the limit is, 250 maybe, whatever. Yeah. But on that part I totally agree with you. And yes, just to come back to your point, yes, it's better to actually demo it at the customer's home or in his home environment and where he's used to it. But definitely. And then just a quick question. Thanks for that. That there's the portal. We also share some details regarding that. But then the last part is a lot of people, local people, will say, but how about stock levels? How will we those type of issues? If there's maybe issues of maintenance, these type of things.
So a lot of the products are bespoke products. So if you look at something like the Revolve, the Revolve Turntable, that is made to your specific specification. You get to choose. There's, I think, 7 or 8 different wood finishes. So that is made for you, and it's a bespoke product.
So it's a custom, sort of a custom.
Yeah. Reference Acoustics, they have got some turntables in stock. Sonor Audio have got pretty much everything in stock. Some of the fancy veneers they don't keep in stock because it's expensive to keep 12 different models in stock. The fastest moving veneers finishes are in stock. If it's so we could normally get you within a couple of days any of the models that you want. I was at the factory yesterday and pretty much everything was there. If it's a fancy veneer, there is a waiting period because that then is made again for you. But most of the products and the faster moving finishes are in stock. Valve Audio, they have got pretty much everything in stock now. So those mostly are stock items. As you go further up the line, there's less stock purely for financial reasons. You don't want to keep 4 Genesis power amps in stock when you can sell, for the same money you can manufacture 20 Predators and sell them. But everything up to, I believe, Black Widow is, or will be by the time the show happens, will be in stock. For the Circle turntable, Lancer's making a few of them, so there will be 1 or 2 available ex-stock. Some of the more bespoke products are on order. You have to order because, again, there are some features that you can order with or without. But we have fixed lead times. We'll get it, you pay a deposit, and we'll keep you informed as how manufacturing goes on those. But most of the products are available, and you come to the show, you can even buy something straight from the show. And
there will be some show specials, I'm sure.
Yes, there will be some show specials. And
sounds good, Joel. No, thanks for all that background information, and thanks for sharing it with us. And guys, all that I want to say out there is please support our local manufacturers, our local community. It's excellent products, as Joel said. Myself, I've got the Genesis Valve Audio preamp. Excellent product, and I've had it for many years, and it's still my go-to product. So these guys make excellent products, world beaters, let's call it that, at a very affordable price. So just taking that into consideration, yes. So guys, if you're in Cape Town, book your tickets now. It's in 2 weeks time, there's still time. Buy a ticket, get it online, we'll share the details. If I'm not mistaken, Lee is the contact person there. Get in contact with Lee. I've done the same via WhatsApp. It's quite easy. It's basically a 3-minute process and you're there. And for the other Gautengis, please, come in your numbers and support the show there. And thanks to Joel, for you guys to also ensure that there's a portal that people are able to get the products in a, in a uniform way, let's call it, and that all the products are there on the website, and you can basically select your product from there. Or Joel and the team can actually arrange a home demo, which is excellent. I mean, what more can you ask for? So I think that's it. We had a look at a few of the samples. Thanks so much for bringing it along, Joel. And top rate again. Just from handling the equipment and look at it physically, you can see it is really top-notch products. So guys, yes, thanks again, Joel, for coming all the way and bringing all the products and the samples. We really look forward, and also the audio couple will be there, and we'll also interact with the local audio community. And thanks for that. And this is then us, guys, the audio couple, signing off with Joel Kopping. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you.